Preface. MyNovaBooks presents Mystery of the Missing Meteorite by Hallie Hart. Dive into a night of celestial wonder, clever sleuthing, and unexpected twists under the planetarium's stars. To explore more, please visit mynovabooks.com. The following voice will narrate your audiobook experience.
Hi, I'm Luna. I will be the narrator for this story.
Now sit back and enjoy. Now reading Mystery of the Missing Meteorite.
The Friday night crowd packed the old Zeiss planetarium from carpeted steps to crimson balcony. 1,000 projected stars drifted overhead like diamond confetti. Soft motors hummed, whir-thump, whir-thump, almost like the heartbeat of a metal whale. In the center of the room, a palm-sized meteorite rested on a brushed aluminum pedestal. A brass sign read, "Fragment of the Perseid shower, 4.5 billion years old. Please do not touch. 4 friends, Luna Tran, Diego Park, Priya Raman, and Marcus. Mac. McGill had scored front row seats. The 8th graders ran the school's Science Squad podcast, so this show was both homework and hobby. Each of them, sitting shoulder to shoulder, kept one eye on the stars and the other on their rivals or inspiration. Luna, the leader, meticulous and quick-witted, often pressured by her own reputation to solve every problem first. Diego, earnest and curious, always doubting if he was truly good enough after moving schools last year. Priya, detail-obsessed and fiercely principled, determined that science stay untainted after witnessing a faked experiment win her cousin a prize. And Mac, ever the skeptic and jokester, hiding his fears about fading into the background of more brilliant minds with one-liners and bravado. Dr. Alonso Vega, the planetarium's head astronomer, stepped onto the stage in his Navy lab coat. A shiny magnet dangled from his lanyard next to his ID badge. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced with a glimmer of something anxious behind his practiced cheer. "Prepare to journey across the cosmos." A few rows back sat Dr. Rosalind Kemp, a visiting magnetism researcher, her lap cluttered with a Gauss meter and a brick-red horseshoe magnet sealed in plastic. Near the aisle, museum security tech Tony Rivas tapped furiously on a tablet. Astronomy YouTuber Starless Sparks smiled into her phone. "Okay, stargazers, big show tonight." The lights dimmed. Nebulae, teal, violet, honey gold, edged across the dome. Audience members oohed. Luna whispered, "Best field trip ever." Then the projectors flickered. Darkness swallowed the room for 2 heartbeats. Luna's stomach twisted. When the starfield snapped back, someone screamed. The brushed aluminum meteorite pedestal was empty. In the sudden blackout that followed, gasps ricocheted through the chamber. Cell phone flashlights jittered like frantic fireflies. Dr. Vega stammered, "Everyone remain calm. We may be experiencing a temporary glitch." His words were brittle. Diego noticed the desperation he'd sometimes seen in a parent's voice before a layoff. Priya's eyes narrowed. "A glitch doesn't make a rock vanish." She gripped her Science Squad notebook tighter, heart hammering. If this was a hoax, she had to expose it, no matter what. Mac muttered, "Zoinks! That's full-on blink-and-it's-gone spooky." But behind the joke, he clung to Luna's sleeve, unwilling to be overlooked in the surge of panic. Just then, a muffled chime echoed from a hidden speaker. 3 soft beeps Luna recognized from crime podcasts, a silent alarm. But the tone cut off mid-sequence, as if someone had yanked its power. Luna's pulse quickened. Solving mysteries was her thing. That alarm was disabled. Luna whispered, exchanging a loaded look with Diego. Whoever did it had system access. Luna fought the urge to take charge immediately, hesitating, then deciding she had to prove she could lead under pressure. Her reputation depended on it. Soon after, the museum cafeteria had shut for the night, but well-timed jelly donuts bought the squad 20 minutes at a back table as the museum cafeteria staff cleaned up for the night. As Diego opened his laptop, nerves made his hands tremble. He hated tech failure, always afraid he'd drop the ball for everyone. Darla Sparks hurried over, concern etched in her furrowed brow. "I recorded the blackout," she said, sliding them a flash drive. "There's a weird digital chirp right before the hum. Maybe it helps." Priya's heart leapt. A clue. A chance to restore science's honor. While Mac copied the file, Priya pulled up the planetarium's public API. "Guys, the telescope log just posted, except every star chart image is scrambled. Look." She clicked a thumbnail. Instead of Orion, a blocky QR code pattern filled the screen. She scowled. Nothing riled her more than manipulated data. "Encrypted." Luna breathed, excitement mingling with dread. Why encrypt star charts? Unless they hide something. She felt the stakes. Solve this or face the embarrassment of leading a failed investigation. Diego typed furiously, biting his lip. If Dr. Vega used proprietary coordinates for tonight's show, the raw data should be in the dome computer too. But we need physical access. Max said, a restless energy propelling his words, his way of hiding how afraid he was to miss his shot at real contribution. Security panels outside the projector pit, and I bet it's tampered. Priya rummaged in her backpack and produced a spiral-bound Zeiss 6000 Digital Stardome Operations Manual. Last month's yard sale treasure. Step 42. Emergency overwiring diagram. Let's go spelunking. She said it with a tight-lipped urgency. She'd chase the truth into the planetarium's bowels if she had to. Minutes later, they slipped into the planetarium's backstage corridor, which smelled of ozone and machine grease. Half-lit exit signs flickered, a warning and a beckoning both. The brushed steel security panel guarded the projector pit door. Its touchscreen pulsed an angry red. Access denied. Luna felt fear and thrill entwined. Diego hung back a step, craving approval and dreading another rejection. Diego pried off the lower service flap. Inside, the main power ribbon had been sliced and rerouted through a fist-sized relay labeled Secondary Circuit B. The word circuit grounded him. Here was something he understood, something real. Classic bypass, he said, a rare moment of pride. Someone rigged a loop so the silent alarm could be killed without flagging the main board. Priya flipped pages, her jaw set. If we jumper pin 12 to ground, we can disable the relay and restore normal logging, but only for 60 seconds before the watchdog daisy chain reboots. Her pulse thundered. The integrity of this log was personal now. Plenty, Luna said. She produced a paper clip, bent it, and click, bridged the pins. The screen blinked blue. Maintenance mode. She stabbed the open hatch icon, adrenaline pricking her skin. If she failed in this moment, she knew she'd never live down the shame. A pneumatic hiss, a thunk, and the heavy door slid aside. On the other side of the sliding door, instead of the expected projector pit, the squad found a narrow stair spiraling downward, echoing their growing trepidation. At the bottom, a locked storeroom labeled Archives and Calibration. The keypad above the handle glowed yellow, a warning signal, echoing the color code used for restricted access in the manual. Priya clutched. Mac cracked his knuckles. I watched a tutorial. 4-digit codes usually echo lightware. He angled his phone's UV lamp. Digits 1479 glowed faintly. Roulette time. Inside, he was sweating. His shot at being the squad's MVP, right here, right now. He studied micro-scratches around the keys, breath held. Most wear on 9, then 7, then 4, then 1. He tapped 9 to 7, 4 to 1. A green beep unlocked the door. Mac let out a shaky laugh, shoulders dropping as validation flooded in. Told you I could contribute. The room was crammed with crates, spare lenses, and, in the center, a portable digital projector on a tripod. Thick HDMI and power cords snaked to a scheduler unit labeled False Constellation Cycle, the head noun. Cycle. Echoing the manual's phrasing. Priya tapped the scheduler, hunger for the truth burning across her face. This rig can overlay any star pattern over the real dome feed. This could hide anything, say a sudden meteorite grab behind fake sky fuzz. Her voice trembled. This was the lie she'd sworn to fight. Beside the tripod sat a slim case holding a high-strength neodymium magnet and a printed itinerary, 20-03, blackout, 20-04, scope scramble, 20-05, silent alarm off, 20-08, projector overlay on. Luna cataloged the schedule, familiar command structures anchoring her under pressure. Bingo, Diego said, awe and fear mingling as he realized they were in over their heads. The missing meteorites probably in the secondary telescope room. Armed with this clue, they raced back to the cafeteria where Wi-Fi was strongest. Luna loaded the scrambled telescope images. The heavy task of leadership pressed on her as Mac ran Starla's audio through a spectrum analyzer. Hidden in the upper frequencies, timed exactly with the blackout, were bursts that matched the encrypted pixels. Sonic steganography. The kind of clever subterfuge that infuriated Priya. Audio key, Mac exclaimed, his voice trembling with hope. He overlaid the waveform onto the QR charts. The gibberish resolved into a flight path after the Perseid shower. Arrow straight to RA0 3 hours 22 minutes. Declination plus 47 degrees. That's tonight's zenith. Luna realized, her voice quaking between admiration and distaste. This schedule and overlay point to Vega as the architect of a staged rediscovery. Diego lifted a hand, brow furrowed. Maybe, but that's not proof he took the meteorite. I heard Dr. Rosalind Kemp moving around when the lights went out. The note of caution hung between them, widening the suspect pool even as the evidence tightened around Vega's plan. Before they could debate their discovery, Tony Rivas rounded the corner. Kids, you can't be back here. Priya cut him off, the stakes of truth chafing at old scars. We know the secondary circuit you installed reroutes alarm power. Either you help us, or when this blows up, your fingerprints are on every wire. Tony swallowed. Luna could almost feel his anxiety, the same dread that pulsed through her after mistakes. I thought it was for a safety demo. Vega paid overtime. I didn't ask questions. He angled his tablet to show a signed maintenance ticket stamped. Authorized. A. Vega. Plus a purchase order for the exact relay marked Secondary Circuit B. He paid me with his departmental card and gave me the relay himself. The paper trail shoved Vega to the center of their suspect board. Fine, Luna said. Re-enabled a primary circuit remotely. We'll need lights when we storm the observatory. Tony typed on his tablet. Switching in 3, 2, done. Primary is live. Silent alarms back on normal grid. Relief loosened Luna's shoulders. With systems restored, the squad hurried toward the secondary observational dome. The structure perched on the museum roof, open to the real night sky. Clouds parted, revealing a glittering Perseid shower. The door was chained, except the padlock hung unlatched, as if expecting someone. Inside, Dr. Vega stood at a control console, backlit by starlight. The missing meteorite hovered in midair, stuck beneath a motorized telescope mounted by the neodymium magnet. He spun when the squad burst in. "You shouldn't be here!" His voice echoed with frustration and the tangled weight of resignation. Diego lifted his phone, recording everything. He flushed with pride, resolved to document every fact, his way of finally belonging. But we are, and the silent alarm's back on, so security is too. Vega's shoulders slumped, energy leaking away. "You don't understand. Attendance is down. Grants disappearing." His voice was brittle, the desperation Luna had sensed at the show's start peeking through. One headline-worthy mystery, then a heroic recovery under these very stars. And donors would flood in. By faking encrypted charts, Priya said, her voice reverberating with conviction, disabling alarms, and feeding guests false constellations. She held up the operations manual, her rallying banner. "We also fixed your wiring. Science deserves better." Mac pointed to the sky, his earlier nerves replaced by a calm certainty. "Real meteors are giving the best show in years. Doc, you never needed a hoax." Moments later, security guards arrived, but Luna raised a hand to stop them. "Dr. Vega, you're an incredible educator." She struggled to keep her voice steady, secretly terrified her own ambitions would someday lead her here. "Don't throw that away. Confess tonight, credit everyone, and pledge the next show's profits to the museum's scholarship fund." Vega glanced at the genuine meteor shower blazing overhead. His face twisted, not just in defeat, but in sudden self-recognition. Tears welled. "You solved in an hour what I crafted for weeks. Maybe honesty is the real spectacle." Empathy overwhelmed Luna. She saw herself in his grasp, for relevance, and felt both relief and warning. He detached the magnet, cradled the ancient stone, and nodded. "Deal." True to his word, minutes later the main dome lights brightened for an unscheduled announcement. Visitors settled back into seats, tense and hungry for answers. Dr. Vega took the stage, Meteorite in hand. "Friends, tonight I planned a deception. I encrypted telescope data, disabled security, and staged a disappearance so I could later discover the meteorite under the very stars you see." 4 young scientists, Luna, Diego, Priya, and Marcus, exposed my trick, using observation, circuitry, and cryptography. He played Starla's audio key, showed the decrypted star charts, and described the fake sky projector hidden downstairs. In science, he concluded, truth matters more than spectacle. Let curiosity guide you, but let honesty keep you on course. Thunderous applause filled the dome. Starla Sparks streamed the confession live, her followers spamming heart emojis. Dr. Kemp grinned. Thrilled the stone remained available for legitimate study. Tony Rivas sighed in relief. After the crowd dispersed, the squad lounged on the rooftop deck under authentic constellations. Diego logged the night's events for their podcast, his earlier doubts replaced by confidence. Mac passed around victory churros, his jokes losing their nervous edge. Priya raised hers like a tiny edible torch, the weight of scientific integrity burning bright. To science, our everyday superpower, Luna added, and to honest stars that never need reprogramming.
End of Mystery of the Missing Meteorite. Outro. Thank you for joining us for Mystery of the Missing Meteorite, written by Hallie Hart and narrated by Luna. We hope you enjoyed unraveling the adventure along with us to the very last page. Remember, for more great selections, be sure to visit mynovabooks.com. Until next time, thank you for listening.